The Café on Maple Street. The afternoon sun filtered through the tall windows of the Café on Maple Street, casting golden streaks across the polished wooden tables. Emma sat near the window, her fingers wrapped around a warm cup of coffee, watching the steam rise and disappear into the air. She had arrived 15 minutes early, as she always did when she was nervous. This was her first blind date in over a year. Her friend Sarah had set it up, insisting that Emma needed to get back out there after her difficult breakup. Just coffee, Sarah had promised. Nothing serious, just see how it goes. Emma had agreed, though her stomach had been tied in knots all morning. She glanced down at her phone, checking the time. He would be here any minute. His name was Ryan, and according to Sarah, he was successful, kind, and easy to talk to. Emma wasn't sure what to expect, but she told herself to keep an open mind. The cafe was cozy and warm, filled with the gentle hum of conversation and the rich aroma of freshly ground coffee beans. There were couples scattered throughout the room, some laughing together, others reading in comfortable silence. Emma had always loved this place. It felt safe somehow, familiar. She smoothed down her cream-colored sweater and took a sip of her coffee, trying to calm her racing thoughts. What would they talk about? Would there be awkward silences? Would he like her? The bell above the door chimed softly, and Emma looked up. A man stepped inside, tall and well-dressed in a gray suit that looked expensive even from across the room. He had dark hair, neatly styled, and an air of confidence that seemed to fill the space around him. He paused just inside the doorway, scanning the cafe with careful eyes. Their gazes met. Emma felt her breath catch. He was handsome, more handsome than she had expected, and there was something about the way he looked at her that made her heart skip. He smiled, a slow, genuine smile, and walked toward her table. "Emma?" he asked, his voice warm and smooth. "Yes," she managed, standing up quickly. "Ryan, that's me." He extended his hand, and she shook it, feeling the firm warmth of his grip. "It's really nice to meet you." "You too," she said, sitting back down as he took the seat across from her. For a moment, they simply looked at each other, and Emma felt the nervous energy begin to settle. There was something about him that put her at ease, something genuine in his eyes. "Sarah told me a lot about you," Ryan said, leaning back in his chair with a relaxed smile. "She said you're a teacher." Emma nodded, grateful for the easy topic. "Second grade. I've been teaching for 3 years now." "That must be rewarding," he said, and she could tell he meant it. "I can't imagine having that much patience." She laughed softly. "It has its moments. What about you? What do you do?" Ryan hesitated for just a second, and Emma noticed a flicker of something in his expression. "I work in business," he said simply. "Corporate management, mostly. It's not nearly as interesting as teaching kids." They talked easily after that, the conversation flowing naturally from one topic to another. Emma found herself relaxing more with each passing minute. Ryan was attentive, asking thoughtful questions and listening carefully to her answers. He had a way of making her feel heard, seen in a way she hadn't felt in a long time. An hour passed, then another. They ordered more coffee, then sandwiches, then slices of cake that they picked at while continuing their conversation. Emma couldn't remember the last time she had felt this comfortable with someone new. "I love this place," Ryan said at one point, looking around the cafe with appreciation. "It has character. You don't find that much anymore." "I come here all the time," Emma admitted. "It's like my second home." "I can see why," he said, his eyes returning to hers. "It suits you." She felt warmth spread through her chest at the compliment. But as the afternoon stretched on and the light outside began to fade, Emma glanced at her watch and felt a sudden jolt of panic. They had been here for almost 3 hours. She quickly calculated in her head, the coffee, the sandwiches, the desserts. Her stomach dropped. She had only brought enough cash for her coffee and maybe a small lunch. She hadn't expected the date to go so well, hadn't expected to order so much. Her bank account was already stretched thin from paying her rent and student loans. She felt a flush of embarrassment creep up her neck. The waiter approached with a friendly smile, setting the bill in a small black folder on the edge of their table. "Whenever you're ready," he said pleasantly before walking away. Emma reached for her purse, her hands trembling slightly. She opened it and peered inside, counting the bills she had brought. Not enough, not nearly enough for half of what they'd ordered. She started, her voice small. "I didn't realize. I didn't bring enough." Ryan's hand covered hers gently, stopping her fumbling. "Emma," he said softly. It's on me. She looked up at him, her cheeks burning. No, I can't let you pay for everything. That's not fair. I should at least. Please, he said, his voice kind but firm. I asked you here. This is my treat. But, he smiled, that same genuine smile that had greeted her hours ago. I insist. Really. Emma wanted to argue, wanted to insist on paying her share, but something in his expression stopped her. It wasn't pity she saw there, but simple generosity. He reached for the bill, glanced at it briefly, and pulled out a sleek black credit card without hesitation. As he handed it to the waiter, Emma felt a wave of relief mixed with lingering embarrassment. Thank you, she said quietly. I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting. There's nothing to apologize for, Ryan said, leaning forward slightly. I've had the best afternoon I've had in months. That's worth more than any bill. She met his eyes and saw only sincerity there. When they finally stepped outside into the cool evening air, Emma felt lighter than she had in weeks. Ryan walked her to her car, his hands tucked casually in his pockets. I'd really like to see you again, he said when they reached her door. If you're interested, Emma smiled, a real, unguarded smile. I'd like that too. Next time, he said with a playful grin, maybe somewhere less expensive. I don't want you worrying about bills. She laughed, feeling the last of her embarrassment melt away. Deal. As she drove home, the city lights beginning to twinkle in the twilight, Emma realized something important. It wasn't about the money or who paid the bill. It was about finding someone who saw her, really saw her, and wanted to make things easier instead of harder. And maybe, just maybe, she had found that in Ryan. Her phone buzzed with a text message. She glanced at it when she stopped at a red light. It was from Ryan, already looking forward to next time. Drive safe. Emma smiled all the way home.